Hey and welcome to the Daily Man United News Show. Let's begin with our daily news. Duncan Castles reveals extent of divisions between Cristiano Ronaldo and Erik ten Hag. It's an open secret that Manchester United forward Cristiano Ronaldo has been trying to engineer a move away from Old Trafford. However, the Portuguese and his facilitators have not had much luck in finding a suitor looking to take him on board. As per Duncan Castles, a Maverick reporter with known ties to Ronaldo's agent Jorge Mendes, the player is still keen on a move away, but is accepting that this may be difficult. Erik ten Hag is also keen on moving on the player. Ten Hag has dropped Ronaldo to the bench for the last two games and is said to be open to him leaving the club, having previously said he was not for sale, Castles said. Ten Hag changed his position in the aftermatch of a 4-0 loss at Brentford. Hired from Ajax in April, United's new manager blamed the defeat on individual errors and reprimanded his players for a lack of physical effort. Ronaldo is understood to have been unimpressed with Ten Hag's attempt to shift responsibility to the players and their physical output in London. The Dutchman, who'd never resorted to such antediluvian disciplinary measures across his 5 seasons at Ajax, made it known that he was now open to selling Ronaldo and hasn't started him since. In adding to Ten Hag, as per Castles, a section of the Dutchman's staff would also be open to seeing Ronaldo leave, believing it would allow other squad members to express themselves. Regarding an exit for Ronaldo, with just days in the transfer market left, the Glazer family are prepared to both suffer the commercial consequences of guaranteeing Ronaldo his transfer and spend heavily on replacement, the reporter says. Bayern München and Chelsea debated adding the Portuguese captain to their ranks, but quickly decided against it. A return to Sporting Lisbon is also out of the question, with Amorim firmly against the idea of bringing in the 37-year-old. A move to Napoli would heavily depend on player sales. Taking everything into account, it now looks like the player is set for a campaign in the Europa League with the Red Devils. Lisandro Martinez, man of the match, performance versus Southampton in numbers. After Lisandro Martinez signed for Manchester United, he became the shortest centre-back in the Premier League. This influenced several pundits into thinking the Argentine would be a disaster signing for the Red Devil because he was apparently incapable of altering his game from the Eredivisie to the Premier League. It didn't help when Brentford targeted Martinez with long balls 2 weeks ago, but United coped much better with Southampton's aerial threat a week later, and BT Sport named the Argentina international as their man of the match. Bruno Fernandes scored the only goal from a volley, while David De Gea earned a deserved clean sheet. This meant Martinez picked up early criticism in his first 2 appearances for United, mostly due to his height, but we were abysmal as a team against Brighton and Hove Albion and Brentford. It looks like Martinez and Rafael Varane are in the process of laying foundations to form a formidable partnership at the back that hasn't existed in our squad for years. Lisandro Martinez's performance versus Southampton in numbers: 100% ground deals won, 100% successful dribbles, 61 touches, 48 passes, 7 clearances, 5 out of 5 aerial duels won, 4 interceptions. Fingers crossed Varane and Martinez can build on this partnership and make United a difficult unit to break down. Erik ten Hag gives reason for benching Casemiro for Manchester United versus Southampton. When Manchester United announced their lineup for the clash against Southampton yesterday, there were a few surprises. There was one name that United fans were half accepting to start against the Saints at San Mamés Stadium. Casemiro joined the Red Devils from Real Madrid recently for a deal that could reach £70 million. Before the game, Ten Hag himself claimed that the Brazil international was fit for the games ahead. Speaking to reporters before the game, the Dutch manager explained his decision to bench the 5-time UEFA Champions League winner. There is also to give Casemiro the time. He hasn't played one game for 90 minutes. He has to adapt to England. He has to adapt to Man United and to give him the time to integrate in the team. However, the decision to bench him cannot come as a total surprise, as people would have equally questioned his decision had he opted to start him given how less he would have trained with the Red Devils. Erik ten Hag hints that Bruno Fernandes could become Man United captain going forward. Harry Maguire's position in the Manchester United team is not guaranteed. Erik ten Hag has warned. Maguire was dropped for United's match against Liverpool on Monday, a game in which Rafael Varane and Lisandro Martinez performed heroically at centre-back. This provoked a number of questions at the press conference ahead of yesterday's Premier League match against Southampton as to what the manager's intentions are for Maguire going forward. That doesn't mean when you are captain that you are established to play always, especially not when you also have Varane in your squad, Ten Hag explained before going on to wax lyrical about the Frenchman. First, we have options, and Varane, his stature is immense. In pre-season, we had to build his physicality, so it was a bit of a slower start, and he was fit in the first games, but in the first period of the pre-season, he wasn't always, so we are happy we built him in that way. You see, that when the team needed him, he was really there, and his profile, his stature, what he won in the past shows he can really contribute to this team. For the team, there is competition, and you need it. We have to cover so many games, and we can do that in several constructions, see from game to game what we need. That can be a construction from Liverpool, but also in the second half at Brentford, we played with Varane and Maguire in the centre, so there are many options. I forget now about injuries. Victor Lindelof did really well in the preseason, so I'm happy he will be back on Sunday in the squad. So we will have another option. Internally, we have competition and that's good, and I think top teams need that. This was the second time this week that Ten Hag explained that he would rotate his defense, but of late he has specifically been talking up to the qualities of both Varane and Lisandro Martinez rather than Maguire. When MUTV asked the Dutchman about describing Lisandro as a warrior, the boss said, "It's great, so that's the way he is, so others get simulated by it, and not everyone is the same, but we want that, we want a fighting team." There is a sense coming from both interviews that Varane and Lisandro will be the boss first choice partnership, which, at the presser badged the question of the captaincy. The journalist asked if Bruno, who's going to play most games, has the armband. Does a point come where you have to say that he's the captain because he is playing most games? I'm not talking so far, we are only one game. We have a little group, Ten Hag replied. Harry quite clearly Bruno is one of them, and I think Bruno did quite well in his role with the captaincy. He was captain by example. He brings so much energy to the team in and out of possession, so I was really happy with his role and performance. This is already a shift from the start of the season when the boss said Maguire is the captain and he saw no need to change it. His words clearly suggest that the captaincy is in a transitional phase where he is allowing it to be fluid before making a firm decision a little further down the line. Man United bid €10 million for Memphis Depay. Manchester United have made a €10 million bid for former player Memphis Depay, according to a report from Spain. The news comes from Twitch TV's Gerard Romero via a tweet from @MUFC The news comes as Barcelona head coach Xavi confirms, "I don't rule out any situation. I contemplate everything in entrances and exit." When speaking of the last few days of the transfer window, the return of Memphis Depay would be a controversial one, with many fans considering his first stint under Louis van Gaal to have been something of a failure. However, United are woeful short of strikers, and €10 million for a player with 80 caps for Holland represents very good value for money. Moreover, the Dutchman may think he has a point to prove at Old Trafford. It remains to be seen whether he would be keen on such a move or not. Barcelona, for their part, would probably be willing to accept, as they are keen to free up salaries from their wage bill. The 28-year-old scored 7 goals and provided 5 assists in his 53 games for United between 2015 and 2017. He got off to a decent start, forging a good relationship with Luke Shaw down the left flank, but a horrific injury to Shaw seemed to also affect Depay's form, and he was never able to pick up where he left off. Reported off-field distractions and obsessiveness with his image was made much of in the press, which is another reason fans might be reluctant to have him back. Man United is still pushing for Antony transfer, but bargain plan B also remains an option. Manchester United are still pushing for the transfer of Ajax winger Antony, as their top priority before the end of the summer. Writing in his exclusive column for Couch Offside, Fabrizio Romano insists that this deal remains one to watch until the end of the transfer window, though PSV star Cody Gakpo could also be a cheap alternative to Antony. There is no doubt Man United need to strengthen their attack as soon as possible, with the likes of Marcus Rashford, Jadon Sancho and Anthony Martial proving terribly inconsistent in the last year or so. Cristiano Ronaldo's future also remains in doubt, so a signing like Antony could be a hugely important to ensure Erik ten Hag has a set of attacking players he can rely on for the season ahead. Romano insists, however, that there is not much willingness from Ajax to sell, whereas Gakpo's asking price at PSV seems a lot more realistic. Manchester United are still pushing for Antony. He is their priority, so I'm sure they will still be insisting in the next 24 to 48 hours for the Brazilian star, Romano said. They have had a €90 million offer turned down, but keep an eye on this until the end. United are still there, and he wants to join. It's still under discussion, it's still open. Ajax have not given positive signals so far, but negotiation is open. Cody Gakpo is an option which would cost around £40 to £45 million. Manchester United set to increase bid in order to seal Antony transfer. Erik ten Hag is facing the same issues, which at one point had plagued his predecessors, from an inconsistent team which manages to put in their maximum effort in selected games to a below-par transfer department. Right from the start, the former Ajax boss had informed the club of his targets, but the club have been slow to act as usual and have let deals slip them by while they have had to overpay for some because of coming late to the party. According to Paul Hurst of The Times, the Red Devils are expected to go back with another bid as Ten Hag is desperate for the Brazil international to join his team. Ajax have a habit of playing hardball when selling players, and that was evident even during negotiations for Martinez. They increased the price at the last moment in the hopes of earning a larger fee. According to reports from Simon Jones from outlet Daily Mail, Manchester United are awaiting the outcome of a board meeting at Ajax before making their next move for Antony. Ajax expect the Red Devils to return with another offer that equals a package of €100 million to let Antony go for the Premier League. There are doubts whether United will go past the €100 million threshold, but another increased bid is likely. As reported previously, the amount might be closer to the €94 million mark. United hope that will be enough to finally land their desired attacker. Antony and his entourage are not happy with the way the Dutch champions are delaying his move. Ajax also need to get a replacement in, and they have earmarked former star Hakim Ziyech for the role, but Chelsea are demanding a lot of money to sell the Morocco international, and that might be part of the delay. I will be uploading daily Man United news, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.